Alright, what is up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris and today I am back with another video here. So game 32 and the Flyers lose 6-3 to the New York Rangers at home, coming back from the 4-game road trip where the Flyers went 1-1 and 2-1. Not a horrible game. I think there were some good moments for the Flyers, but again, ultimately they still lose and still, you know, similar issues that are causing this. And lineup was a little bit different. There was a shakeup. Yesterday, Cap Friendly tweeted out that the Cap Friendly transactions, it's a pretty good page because you can kind of see stuff sometimes before it happens, and this was another case of that where Atkinson was put on IR. It's unfortunate for Atkinson. I don't know if we'll be seeing him for the rest of this season. I hope nothing is career threatening. But again, Atkinson has said, he wants to keep it private. So hopefully, hoping all the best for Cam and Luke Sedlak went home. So he left, was dealing with some family stuff. And I guess missing family was part of it and all that stuff. So it's unfortunate because I genuinely like Sedlak. I didn't think he'd be here for the long haul, but for his play and, the way he played, I appreciated that. And I thought he played well in his role. So no Sedlak, Atkinson to IR, no McEwen because he was sick. Kiefer Bellows gets called up from the High Valley where he scored a couple goals down there with the Phantoms, and Tony DeAngelo was back in this one, coming back after his grandmother passed away. So the lines for this one, finally getting the lines: Farabee, Cates, Konechny, Van Riemsdyk, Frost, and Tippett, Bellows, Lawton, Leaksell, Delorier, and Brown. So no McEwen's. The Flyers went 11-7. Provorov and Risto, Sanheim and York, Sealer and DeAngelo. Braun was the seventh defenseman. Those bottom four kind of changed a little bit. Sometimes York was with DeAngelo. Sometimes Sealer was up with Sanheim. Braun was also in the mix as well. But first period, the Flyers actually scored first in this game, and they've only done that 9 times all season. 9 times out of 32 games where they have scored first, and they get a goal here early from JVR. It was just a really nice play. And before this, there were some looks for both teams. Hedl had a chance off the rush very early. Lixel had a couple nice plays. I thought Lixel was good against New Jersey. Actually really liked him tonight. I thought just in general, he's a banger. He was kind of not throwing his weight around, but he was getting in there and creating havoc on the forecheck. And York had a really nice spin in the corner on a nice exit. It didn't turn into anything, but it was a nice play. I actually tweeted it out, the clip of it. Tippett had a chance off the rush. York had a really nice move to just shove the play off the puck. And, York, who's listed at 5'11", and they have York listed at 5'11", 175 pounds. And Sammy Blais is listed at 6'2", 215, something around that. He shoves off a guy who's 3 inches taller than him and is 30, 40 pounds heavier than him. That's not something easy that York does. And I thought he had a really good first period. Again, just the game in general, I thought he was pretty good. But JVR scores 1-0. And it was kind of a weird play. This play was all in motion. JVR had the backhand pass. Tippett turned, spun it, went off the back. JVR then picked it up on his backhand and then spun that play into the net on his forehand. It was just gorgeous. It was all in one play. It was just one really long pass is kind of the only way I could explain it. And again, just a really nice play and pretty fast-paced game. JVR had a chance off the rush. Hart had a nice save before that. And pretty good shift by the Konechny line. There was a chance for Tippett that was in tight. It was a nice pass for JVR. He almost waited out Halak for it. And Ristolainen has a turnover here. And again, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. You had a good couple of shifts. You're up 1-0. You had a scoring chance. You were out shooting the Rangers, I believe, 7-4 up until this point, maybe 7-3, something around that. And Ristolainen just throws a pizza up the middle. Just an absolute burger. Oh, okay. And then the Rangers didn't score on it, but they got momentum. And then York had a nice play where he crept in and ripped one. It was a nice play off the wall, but the Rangers got momentum from that. They had a couple of chances, and then they scored. Panarin scores off the rush. It was kind of a little partial of a breakdown because Frost didn't really get back, and there was just kind of a whole thing because the defensive pairing that was out there, they were kind of mismatched as well, and the Flyers get a power play. Van Riemsdyk draws a holding call, and really nothing great from the first unit. This play carries over into the second. Rangers hit the post early from Panarin. Lixel had a chance in tight for Lawton. It was a nice play. It was just a stick lift and center pass in front, and Lawton almost tipped it. Flyers get 2 power plays here, delay a game and then a cross check. Much better from the top unit on the delay game one, the first power play. Couple looks, but they were all blocked. 2 really nice blocks from Ryan Lindgren on the Rangers. Tippett had a really nice play to keep the puck into the zone, and I thought it went out, but he ended up keeping it in. So close. So close. Almost scored there. And when they get that power play, it was like a scramble and tight. Then there was a delayed penalty on the Rangers. Like, okay, Flyers might be able to go 2-1 here. Well, they had a handful of chances on the other one. Play goes back to the point, and Miller steps out of the box. And he just... It was such a gorgeous goal. Like, it was such like an NHL 23 move. Like, you just kind of fake it to the backhand. He falls, gets up, tucks it forehand. Just a gorgeous goal. And then Barclay Goodrow scores another one later to make it 3-1. Just another really nice play. And I, again, being a Flyers fan and covering them now, like, I guess in the way that I was raised and that, and like just being a Flyers fan, like, you're not supposed to like, the Rangers or the Penguins or the Devils, but like, I can't lie, like, I really only hate the Rangers when they play us. Like, they are a really fun hockey team to watch any other night. I have Trocheck, Panarin, and Fox on, and Lafreniere on my fantasy team. They're just such a fun team to watch, and genuinely, I mean, again, it's nothing to do with, not like the Flyers. It's just, they're just a fun hockey team, because that's the hockey fan in me as well. The Flyers didn't really have a shot in a while, and then as soon as I was typing this, Farabee had a chance off the rush, and then he had a one-timer off of a connecting pass. He is really, really struggling. Like, he needs a goal bad. Like, he needs something. Rangers will get a power play here. It was a cross-check on Sanheim. Puck almost went in right before this, and the detail on Hart's pad, the black, with that, I don't know if that caused this to not be a goal or what, but, again, because the Flyers were wearing the black jerseys, and Hart has those pads where he does for this, and actually it was a really nice save, and it looked like it went in, but it wasn't conclusive enough, and the other 2 angles showed that it didn't go in, but the one angle, Sanheim kind of blocked it out, and that might have been the angle where they could have seen it, but his leg got in the way, so who knows, it doesn't count, and the Flyers score a shorthanded goal. So again, your power play had a couple looks. Lawton gets a shorthanded goal here, his second of the season, scored the other one against Vancouver in the second game of the year. It was just a really nice play. Again, it was a nice tip at the line, goes in on a breakaway. Could have been a 2-0. He just basically said, like, F you to Konecny, and just went in and scored on the breakaway, which I was fine with because he scored. He did that patented backhand 5-hole move that Lawton always does, and it wasn't a great period, but that goal was definitely a good sign going into third, because he could have been now 4-1 with that power play. Rangers have a really good power play, and it's at that point it's only 3-2, and you're like, okay, maybe we have a chance here. Flyers had some really pressure. Had a couple plays. JVR had a pass in front for Tippett, just missed him on a 2-on-1. Provorov had a pass for Konecny, but that ended up getting picked off, and Rangers went the other way before that, and then VC made it 4-2. It was unfortunate because it looked like it could have got cleared out, but Hart was a little deep in his net. I don't think he expected the puck to kind of just land right there for VC either. And he looked like the way he reacted seemed like he thought he could have had that. So he scores, picks a corner, glove side. And then Morgan Frost scores in 4-3. And it was just a beautiful shot off the rush. It was a nice play by York just to get it up. And Sanheim kind of chipped at the Frost, and he finally gets that shot through. Like, when he scored that, it felt like there was like a tightness in my chest that just like released as soon as that puck went in, because it was just like a honestly not even really like a sigh of relief. It was just again, that is a type of goal that I think Frost has maybe had like so many chances to score, and it either gets blocked or the shot doesn't get through or whatever. And maybe he gets checked, anything. And this one finally squeaks through the arm, and it's like, okay, first of all, you're back in the game, and that's good for Frost because he follows up the 4-point game. Should have gotten assist against Colorado on one of those plays where the Flyers scored 2. And, after that, it was definitely a good sign for him to score. And again, this is what you want to kind of build on. You don't want to have a 4-point game and then not get any points. So definitely good to see that. And for the remaining, I guess, part of the season, that's something that you kind of want to build on. Because again, if you're just looking in general, like the overall way that the I guess the season is going to go for this team, because you have, again, I've talked about this many times, most of what the end of the year for this team is going to be, they're going to be the underdog in most games, right? So finish out the third, they get the power play, they couldn't really do anything with it, and of course they score a 5-1-3 goal where it's all the way down, and the puck just rolls in. And it's so unfortunate because that happens all the time. Like, it might sound like just boiled over frustration for me, but that happens a lot where, it's just like a play, an empty net goal that's scored all the way at the other end of the ice. It's like, and of course, it's right when the power play starts, so it couldn't have been where they had a couple of chances or whatever. It has got to be right when it starts, so it's just deflating. And then Kakko scores to make it 6-3 off a slash right in and put the puck in. But for Frost, and at least the way that this has been trending, because again, I really liked York in this game. And again, if we're going off of the Avalanche game from Tuesday, I thought York and that line was good. And then you obviously followed that up from the game before with the 10-11 point night from that JVR Frost Tippett line. Then York had a pretty good game. The Devils game, both lines were quiet, but they had, that line in York alone was quiet points wise, but genuinely had some pretty good moments. And then even tonight, Frost gets a goal. The Van Riemsdyk gets a goal off of a Tippett assist. Like, you definitely wanted to kind of see that together, and the last handful of games, that line has been pretty good for the Flyers, and regardless of scoring and whatnot, it's been majority of their offense moving forward, and I wrote about that in my first column for Philly Hockey Now, if anybody wants to check that out, or if you missed it. So the Flyers lose 6-3, and again, it's unfortunate because it's another game where they probably could have maybe squeaked out a win, but the lineup is so thin, and again, this is another game that you wanted to see the young guys get some points, and Frost gets a goal, Tippett with an assist, again, York gets an assist as well, who had a solid game, and Reeves, again, continuing strong play. These are the things that you want to build on, regardless of, the standings or whatnot, whatever. They aren't going to win much, but this is the type of stuff that when you're in a rebuild like this, even though nobody wants to admit that, this is the type of stuff that you want to see. So, it is what it is. Let me know your guys' thoughts below. Remember to, podcast is going to be this Tuesday. I have not released the time yet, but I will. So stay tuned on Twitter for that. I was supposed to have Doc Emmerich on for this episode, but we had to push it back to the new year. So stay tuned for that. Also, the watch party for Thursday's game against Toronto on YouTube, Flyers against the Leafs. Going to do a watch party for that game. There's 4 games I selected for that. It's basically going to be, we'll watch a game on YouTube, kind of break it all down, and then the post-game video will come after as well. So come join me, watch a Flyers game with me here on stream. Going to be very exciting. It's going to be a good game. Leafs are a good team. We'll see what happens. But again, join me Thursday. The stream will start at 1:30 here on YouTube. Game is at 2 o'clock on Thursday. So, thanks everybody so much. Remember to check out the Flyers fan club and all that good stuff. And hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video. And I'll talk to you all again soon.
Shot through. He scores!